What is going on, Call of Duty fans, and welcome back to episode, I think this is 25. It's on the thumbnail for the YouTube video. I'm pretty sure this is 25, though, of Around the CDL. We're obviously missing somebody. Alex may or may not be joining us at some point in this. He's had a really busy, crazy work week from what we've been told, so if he basically finishes work in time, he's going to hop on, but we'll see what happens, man. You'll obviously see if he joins at some point, but Preston is here, as always, and Preston, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk COD as always. And I'm ready to do another episode. I actually think this is episode 26.
Is it?
I think last week was 25 because you made the quarter century intro.
Oh, I did. You were correct.
But nonetheless, these are always more fun because they're the ones directly before majors. So ready to make my bracket.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm going big this time, bro. I'm going big. Chat, how we doing? Everyone is here in the live chat. I see Paul and Remy just got here. Hello from Australia. Shout out Remy in Australia. You're already in the whole new day over there. But yeah, hopefully everyone in chat's doing good. First multi-stream ever, so YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, we're gonna get into let's talk about some COD. Let me switch this over to the right screen, and it worked. W. I guess we can briefly touch on last week and just kind of like sort of set up as what we're looking for into Major 4 before we get into our pick'ems. One match I definitely want to talk about is the Propane Cheese matchup that was Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. This obviously went Game 5 and Ultra took it. FaZe probably would have won the high rise if they didn't get Propane Cheese, but which would have led them to them winning the series. So this definitely is interesting, I think, because this makes me think Ultra's the strongest team, but they also might have lost this if the Propane didn't blow 3 of the FaZe players. So I don't know if you watched this series, but how did you feel about this one? And kind of like the high-rise cheese just continues, man.
Yeah, I mean, this map is far past the point of return. I mean, it's just not going to be fixed. So we need to, I think, collectively as a fan base, just give up on saying high-rise cheese. It's just, it's high-rise at this point.
That's just what it is.
It's no longer cheese. We're so far past the point of cheese. But no, I will say I was impressed by both teams in this series. Ultra impressed me finally being able to get over the hump, beating FaZe online. Nonetheless, in a Game 5 S&D, which I thought was pretty impressive considering FaZe and their S&D prowess. On the other hand, I am both impressed and terrified that FaZe now looks like they are pretty solid on sub-base. Because that was the one little cushion that the other, Ultra and I don't want to play as a team OpTic had on them. So if they are like now comfortable and are doing what they did to Ultra on that map, I mean, that looked like a major one OpTic versus Ultra sub-base. And it was FaZe, who has been previously known as one of the worst sub-base teams. So somebody just said in chat, but they are looking shaky on Vista. That's facts. Actually.
I think they've lost. Have they lost a couple of Vistas in a row at this point?
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Cells insane 4 peaks, they would have given up a 100-point lead on Miami.
That was insane.
So that's fair. We were watching that live on your watch party. That was insane. No, but this series was good. I did see the high-rise cheese, or now we're just calling it high-rise, which was, hella unfortunate for FaZe. They're almost inexcusable, actually far past the point of inexcusable, especially that it's been in the patch notes twice now. First saying that it has been fixed and it won't blow up, and then a second time saying it's been hot fixed and now it actually won't blow up, and it's still being blown up.
That's all it does, is blow up.
They play on the old patch. Yes, correct. Usually, but not this split. They are playing on the new patch. Whatchamacallit, which 6-star only has 4 hills, so they are on the new patch. Meaning it should be fixed. They just suck at what they do, but I digress. That's an entirely different conversation to have.
Oh, yeah. It's It is annoying because it's like, can't they just turn off explosions? Or I saw some people saying they should have a setting in like CDL modes that you can turn explosions off. I think it would be even easier if they just like made it so the propane tanks couldn't explode in the first place. Like they just literally cannot blow up. I guess that's like just part of the map, and probably in public matches they love throwing that cheese in there. So it would probably have to be a setting, but yeah, I mean, high rise is high rise at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if teams like almost avoid playing it just because they don't want to deal with the cheese. But any way you look at it, I mean, those are FaZe and Ultra. Whoever really came out on that series, I think, was going to be looked at as the favorite coming to this event. So, you know, Ultra got the better end of the stick there, and they're looked at as number one probably for most people.
You mean you don't have OpTic as a favorite?
Dude, I have OpTic as the fourth favorite.
Hey,
You know.
honestly, I'll I'll take that. I mean,
No, no.
shit.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what the bracket looks like. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I think we got to talk about it. I saw someone in chat said we should talk about OpTic for the next hour. I don't think we're going to milk it that long, but we got to talk about OpTic versus Boston Breach, bro. I think that one specifically we have to talk about because obviously OpTic are struggling. They've been struggling. We all know this. We've talked about this, but they lost to the worst team in the league by far. Like 12th in the power rankings for like 3 months straight, 4 months straight.
Yeah.
Do you think Boston is hitting form, or what's going on there?
No, Boston played the day after and got freaking slammed. So it's not Boston ain't informed. It is not. It's OpTic just look bad. They have looked bad for 6 series in a row. I actually think at this point bad is an understatement, but I'm not one of those people that harp on the people when they're down. Especially obviously not the team that I support. But in general, very rarely will I harp on teams when they are struggling as bad as they are, unless they are just terrible in general. And I don't think that, I mean, actually, I know that OpTic are not terrible in general, considering what we've seen throughout the year and literally just at Major 3. So they're not terrible. They just suck right now, really bad. But that was like that was bad. I mean, there's bad and there's like unforgivable. Not only losing a series to a team that hasn't won a series in 3.5 months,
Oh, man.
they also lost a series to a team that hasn't won a map in 4.5 series. They also lost a series which included 2 S&D Ls to a team that set the record for consecutive S&D Ls just this season in CDL history. So no matter what way you spin it or look at it, it's a terrible loss, an inexcusable loss for a team of this caliber and a team of these players, and exactly what just happened. It's almost like entirely confusing because I don't know what happened. They literally looked untouchable on a Sunday, and then they come into this online split and look like they've never played the game before. They literally look like they scrimmed for the first time after being late to scrims for a week because Pred couldn't get back from Australia. And this is like their first time playing the game. That's what they've looked like for 6 years in a row. And at first I thought maybe it was just their S&D that's lacking, and it is. I mean, what is it, 10 in a row now? They suck at S&D.
Yeah, they're getting close to that record.
But it comes to a point where it's not just the game mode. When you're giving up 90-point leads to Boston, when you're losing respawns to teams you shouldn't lose respawns in, because, you know, the only way you get to a game 5 in a series, which is all of their losses minus Toronto, is you lose at least 1 respawn. So, I mean, if your S&D is going to be as bad as it is, your respawns need to be near perfect, and we haven't seen it. So I don't know. I really don't know what to think. That being said, I have made plenty of tweets.
Oh, we know.
That I have gotten a fair share of a nice variety of replies. But I will believe in this team, these guys, until I absolutely have no reason not to believe in them. 6 series losses in a row is not going to stop me from thinking that they can win at any given moment in any given series. Like I said, that could be delusional. That could be just pure fandom. I don't care what it is. but I will support these guys, and it doesn't matter who it is, just the people wearing the green and black. I will support them no matter what, and I genuinely believe that they can do this. So, do I think they are gonna 1000% make a run from losers round 1 and win 7 series in a row? I mean, can it happen? Sure. We saw LAG do it, but I mean, that's going to be extremely unlikely. I just want them to come out on Friday and play with some confidence and show, okay, listen, we've been struggling, but I'm here to we're here to play some COD. That's all. That's all I want to hear.
It's all you can ask for, man. I mean, just put it behind you and move forward. Also, shout out Paul for the $4.99 super chat. He said the biggest cheese to me is the respawn delay because of it. Oh, you're talking about the high-rise blow. Yeah, because Cell took, like, I think it's like 8 seconds or something like that, or it was like 12 seconds because he got, like, the double team kill that he was respawn delayed. So there is a lot of cheese behind it. But yes, Paul, thank you for the... Sorry, yeah, no, the chat widget I have open does not show super chats, which is annoying. So I had to switch to the other thing and see. So I apologize if anyone says anything and I miss it. We're getting used to this multi-stream, all right, man? We're getting used to this multi-stream. But yes, thank you so much, Paul, for the super chat. We appreciate it. And I agree, dude. The propane cheese is one thing, and then the respawn delay is another when you blow your teammates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, man. I think all OpTic can do is just put it behind them. Now, I wonder what's gonna happen, right? Because I think there's two different takes on this, and I've heard both, so I want to know your opinion as well as chat's opinion. OpTic's going into an event that's on LAN, right? But there's no fans. So I've heard one side of things saying, no fans. Obviously, OpTic has the biggest fan base. There's no one to to play off that energy. They're not going to play any better. And I've also seen another group of people saying the fans they'd almost feel more pressure to perform because of how bad they've been with fans there, that without fans, they're going to play more loose and less pressure, and they're going to play better. So in your opinion, the way OpTic's playing right now, 1-6 coming to this major, do you think fans would hurt them or help them?
Help. I actually don't even, you could ask me that. Zero hesitation. It's the green wall at events are fucking nuts. They are insane. It doesn't matter where you're at. They are 97% of the time crowd favorites. I mean, the only time I've ever seen them not be crowd favorites is when they played Toronto in Toronto. That's it. Other than that, they are favorites. That being said, I actually think this is... I guess if there was a time for you to have an event with no fans, it would be kind of now, because you kind of have to just dial it in and lock the fuck in. And I feel like sometimes it might be a little hard to do that. Like, do I want them to go out there with delusional confidence? Yes. And will the fans give them delusional confidence? Absolutely. But they kind of got to dial the fuck in, because in 3 weeks' time, you're going to play in an event that fans are going to give you delusional confidence.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is not a home event, but a home event. Champs, the biggest event. You got to be locked the fuck in. So I don't know. That's a hard question. I would kind of just like no hesitation say yeah, because they always have the fan base. But I could honestly, the Green Wall, being a member of this fan base, there are some toxic motherfuckers in the Green Wall. Some of these people I see on Twitter are delusional. Oh my God, I can't do it. I block so many people on a weekly basis. It doesn't matter. It's so bad. I can't put up with half these people. It's so toxic sometimes. It
you hear
really
that,
is.
chat? He can't put up with half of you guys.
No, I mean, genuinely, there are a lot of good people that I have interactions with on Twitter. I tend to interact with a lot of people on Twitter. I have fun, but there are a lot of morons that give up on their team, that think they know everything, and I can't do it. So honestly, it wouldn't shock me if we did hear some boos, because they have been playing so piss poor.
Yeah, I definitely, I lean the way of the fans would probably help them. I mean, unless they like came out on LAN their first series. I mean, this is their only series if they lose, because they're in losers bracket, and they lose. Like, maybe some people would be angry, but you got to think, like, coming out on LAN, the fans want to see them win, so they're not going to boo them for how they played online. You know what I mean? So I would think fans would probably help them. I'm not saying this is going to hurt them, but I just don't think they have that added bonus, the added support that maybe would help them get pulled out of this slump. But I just was wondering what people thought about that, because I saw them talking about that on the Dope Check podcast. So shout out to those guys. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, just look at what I have. I don't know if you have my stream open, but the contrast from what happened the Major 3 into Major 4 qualifiers, it's definitely something. At least you know they still got Miami dialed in. So when LAT beat them in round 1, you guys have a free dub to get some confidence back. I already established with my chat that LAT will handle Miami winners round 1. You guys handle them and losers, and then we'll both make runs and we'll meet in the finals. And people agreed on that. So LAT, OpTic, Grand Final, Major 4, book it.
Run it back, no fans, Major 4, LAT, OpTic, Grand Finals. I say I'm in.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I mean, it would be like a picture-perfect thing.
It's everything I'd ever want.
LAT through winner, OpTic through losers.
Yeah. Speaking of LAT, man, we got to talk about the reverse sweep.
Yeah.
I can't even articulate like how good this felt when the boys pulled this off, man. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, going into the invasion, we were down 2-0. We were kind of playing like shit. We only got 3 rounds in the SND. I feel like we barely avoided a 100-point club on the Vista HP map 1. I was not feeling good about this. I was definitely down bad. Our control has been pretty bad for the most part recently, but I'm telling you, bro, it was like the stars aligned. Everything came together, and it was for Octane's birthday. Exactly what Paul said in chat. Octane's birthday, they pulled off the reverse sweep. I mean, literally last online match of the season. Not even just for LAT, for the entire league. And that's the first time we beat a top 4 team. The first time we beat a top 4 team this season. The only team to not do it until that last match online. Yep. It genuinely was... dude, I genuinely felt similar to when we won champs. Like, that's how excited I was. Because this team people just have such low expectations for this team that it's so good to see them kind of live up to what I thought they were capable of this whole season, which is competing and actually beating a top 4 team. And now that they've done it, man, going into a major, I mean, no fans. I don't know if it helps or hurts these guys, but I can't wait. I feel really good about the boys heading into this event.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you. Reverse sweep a top 4 team, last series of the year, online. I mean, you got to feel good going in the major. A winner's start, which is huge for the champs race.
I know.
Especially with what was on the line. I mean, they were winning in, right? And if they lost, it was Carolina. Isn't that what it was?
For the major?
For winners?
No, if we lost, LAG would have fell out, and we would have stayed at 7. So we would have played FaZe.
Okay.
And then we would have fell to play Rocker if we lost. So either way, we kind of probably had a winnable series on LAN, but these extra 10 points don't guarantee us champs qualification, but pretty much, like, I think I saw a thing online that was like we have like an 80-something% chance of making champs at this point, even if we go out top 12, because the only way we really fall out is if Ravens or Rocker make like a pretty deep run, and Ravens might be running into OpTic in losers round 2, Rocker running into New York or FaZe round 1. So we're like pretty much 80% of the way guaranteed champs at this point after that win. So it couldn't have come at a better time. It really couldn't have.
Yep. No, I mean, I agree. Totally perfect time W, and now you guys get 2 chances to win on Lions, so you gotta feel good.
I know. And then also, dude, I just want to say, just to shout out the guys a little bit more. Coming into this split, we had to go up against Ultra, FaZe, an Informed Legion team, Subliners, LAG, a team we struggle to beat. I didn't have high expectations. Not many people had high expectations for this split. We came out 4-3. We came out with the 4 seed. We came out with one of those seeds, the 4 seed or the 5 seed. I think we're the 4.
4.
So, like, really, honestly, the guys exceeded expectations this split. You're going into LAN, which is, like, not really been our forte, obviously. Our only win has come against Boston in a Game 5 on LAN. But I feel good about them against Miami, man. Although, to be fair, Miami hasn't lost to anyone outside the top 4 in, like, I don't know, 2 months at this point. So it's a little scary. It is a little scary.
It depends on what Joe Deceives you get. I think Joe Deceives has been playing pretty solid online, which is it's been helping you guys. So if he can do that for Lamb, which I think has struggled at least in recent memory. So
I mean, the whole team has struggled on land except for Dan, for the most part.
I don't want to see a LAT OpTic lose.
I don't either, bro. I really don't.
So, I mean, I would love to see an LATW tomorrow.
Absolutely. Standings check. Let me pull up the standings. I got to go to the Call of Duty actual website because Breaking Point's a little wonky. I don't think their tiebreakers are set. These are the current standings, chat. So right now, Miami and Seattle are pretty much set at 170. It is possible for them to fall out if they get double first rounded, let's say, and then like Ravens and LAG or Rocker like make runs or one or the other, and they really, it's possible, but the 1 through 6 are probably set, and then 7 and 8 are kind of up in the air with LAT sort of being in a good spot, but it's definitely nerve-wracking, bro. It's definitely really nerve-wracking just thinking about the storylines and what could happen heading into the last major of the year. Because, I mean, it all comes down to this, man. I mean, you play all season, which obviously it all matters, but at the end of the day, if you took everything out from the season, it's like nothing else mattered. You know what I mean? It all comes down to this event because we're pretty much all tied.
I couldn't agree more. I think LAG are going to make grand finals.
Oh, shit. Maybe they will. But I also will say, LAT, we got a bunch of tiebreakers. We got the tiebreaker over Legion and Ravens if it comes down to head-to-head. If it comes down to map win percentage, it gets a little hairy. But we're going to see, man. We're going to see. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we head into pick'ems?
No, man. Let's get right into it. Why not?
All right, yo, chat. Let's get right into our bracket, man. Also, I wanted to mention for the pick tracker, our picks here on Around the CDL. You might have gotten cooked. So I'm 2 ahead of Alex, and you're 4 behind Alex.
So well, that's not that bad.
You're at 137. Alex is at 141, and I'm at 143.
It could have been a lot worse. So, LAT might have saved my ass.
Yeah, so it's still possible. We still got 2 events. Events are very up in the air. Like I said, I'm probably going with a little bit of some hot takes here in this major, which may end up hurting me in the end. But honestly, I don't want to win if I'm playing that safe ball. I'm trying to go all out here, and we'll see what we can get. But yeah, let's get into it. I mean, you go first, obviously, so I can save my pick'ems when I'm done, and we'll see if Alex joins before I get to mine. But you take the lead, man. You don't have to go in time order. You can just go down the list, but it's up to you, however you want to do it.
Damn, they start at 3 because it's in LA and not 1:30. That sucks.
Wait, do they actually?
Yeah, they start an hour and a half later.
Well, that's actually good for me because I can watch part of the LAT match after I get off work. So I'm kind of lit, low-key.
Well, I'm happy for you. That's good. But
thank you.
now I have to figure out an hour and a half what else I'm going to do with my time. Oh, well. All right. I'm not doing time because I don't care that much.
Yeah, screw the time. Just go down the list.
All right. Toronto Gorillas. I don't think this will be very close. Not with the form that Toronto's in. I'll give LAG a map.
That's nice of you.
I know.
That's really kind.
3-1. It is. That's about. Honestly, I think that's being generous. But you know,
that's so kind of you.
LAT Miami is a big series, Jake.
I know, dude. I mean, this is it. Like our season. If we win this, we probably make champs.
You guys win this, you guys are at champs. I mean, I would bet my right foot on it probably.
That extra 15 points is a lot here.
I'm gonna give you guys the game 5 victory.
Hey, let's fucking go! I like your bracket already, bro.
We'll go LAT 3-2.
I see.
It's mostly selfish.
Yeah.
I want Miami so that maybe Pred could just go ballistic and we can spark some energy.
I see chat is all going game 5 as well. I see multiple thieves, 1 Miami.
That's a tough series to pick.
That is. That one and the Surge Legion series are definitely closest. But hey, this next series FaZe subliners, depending on what subliners you get.
Speaking of tough series to pick.
What do you think? I mean, 2 top 4 teams facing off in winners round 1. I mean, we couldn't be eaten any better. Is this New York? Like, is this New York's major to win? Like, is everything just going to be on their side? Is this
I
it?
don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. No, I think I have to go FaZe. I'll go FaZe 3-1. I feel like
I
I have
respect it.
to. Like part of me thinks New York can win this, but also it's FaZe on land, so I mean I have a hard time.
I mean, unless they get blown by the propane on high rise,
Yeah, but
you know.
I don't we'll see.
All right, last
Uh
winners round 1 match. What are you thinking?
yeah, I mean they just played and Vegas won a game 5. But this is LAN. And Seattle just played really well at LAN. So I think I'm gonna give this edge to Seattle. I'm gonna go a game 5 victory for Seattle.
3-2 Seattle Surge.
Yeah. Let's go down to losers, which unfortunately includes my guys. All right. Carolina LAG. One team loses their champs run. This is a big series.
It is kind of crazy when you think about it.
This is a big one team's season is over. It is over after this.
And these are 2 teams that have played pretty good on land this year.
Indeed. I think, unfortunately for LAG, this is the end of the road.
Damn.
And I actually think LAG could probably win this series. I just, with Carolina getting the land buff that they do, and they've actually shown a pretty solid few signs of promise this last split, I'm going to give them the victory here. I'm going to go 3-1 for Carolina.
All right, you got LAG winning 2 maps on land. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. They're gonna miss the cut.
The game. I mean, the event is in LA, just for the record.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. Yeah. Unfortunately, their series is done. Their season's over. But you know, you got a couple bright things to look at. You know, solid season. Definitely the most points I remember the Gorillas having in quite some time. So,
I mean, they're usually not even really in the conversation for champs.
Yeah.
So you know, it's trending up. It's trending up for the Gorillas.
It is. Miami OpTic. I'm gonna go OpTic 3-0.
Oh shit! He's not even giving Miami a map, chat.
I This is just, I'm over this shit. Just stop playing around and just start fucking slamming people
Please.
again.
I mean, hey, listen, genuinely, if there's any team to draw at this point, I mean, obviously you'd probably rather play Boston, but like, you guys always beat Miami, so it's almost the best case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, at least I hope, because if not, then we're cooked. Subliners Rocker. Who am I kidding? Okay.
Your favorite team, Minnesota Rocker.
Yeah, I'll go 3-1 Minnesota. Just kidding.
I literally started clicking to 3 on New York, and I nearly had broke my neck looking at your camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 New York, and Minnesota season will also be over because they're fucking stupid.
So you're saying, so by the end of Friday, I mean, not guaranteed, but like we're probably gonna have 2 teams cut out of champs by the end of Friday. Well,
yeah,
I mean Boston too, but they don't count.
Yeah, Boston doesn't count, but I'd be willing to bet that. Well, yeah, 2 out of the 3 that we need to eliminate are done Friday. All right. Vegas, Boston. I'm gonna go Vegas, and I'll give Boston 2 maps. I think they could push it to 5.
Wow. Okay.
They'll lose CS and D. Yeah, that's good. Go Vegas 3-2. All right, let's go to elimination round 2. Carolina OpTic. I'm gonna take my guys 3-1.
You got your guys over the Ravens.
They'll probably lose the S&D.
Okay, chat. What do we think? The chat. What do you guys think for this one? I really want to know. OpTic Ravens. Who do you actually have in this one? Dude, the problem is you don't know. Like, and the same thing goes with New York this whole season. You just don't know what you're gonna get.
Listen, this kind of goes without saying, but the biggest question mark this tournament is without a doubt OpTic, because if you get even a small glimpse of Major 3 OpTic, they should very, not easily, but pretty much coast to top 6.
Mm-hmm.
They should. If you get the OpTic that you've seen, they might get 0-3 in losers. Like, I mean, they are the biggest question mark. Are we gonna get like the old OpTic or part of the old OpTic, or are we getting the current don't want to shoot their guns back OpTic? I think we're gonna get a glimpse of the old OpTic. I do.
No, I respect it, man. You gotta have faith in your team. You gotta have faith.
Yeah. It's, some say delusion. It is what it is. New York, Vegas. This is interesting because this could also be the end of Vegas' series season if they don't win this.
Yeah, right. Well, Vegas is on the 8th spot right now, so
Yeah.
So based on your
Carolina
bracket,
would be done.
Based on your bracket, they would be fine.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Carolina would be cooked. Never mind. I mean, I still think they're gonna upset New York here.
Do you?
I do.
You got Vegas over New York.
I do. I have Vegas in a game 5.
Dude, we low-key have like the same thing right now in our brackets.
Oh shit.
So I might switch some things up just to be different. But I like it. I really do like it.
Okay.
All right, back to the top. This
is where it gets interesting. Toronto, LAT. Because I really want to go LAT. I really do, but I just think that Toronto looked too strong, so I can't. Unfortunately, Jake. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all good.
I'm gonna go Toronto Ultra. I'm gonna go 3-2. I think they push it to a game 5, but they ultimately lose.
Mm-hmm.
FaZe Surge. I think this is a FaZe 3-0. No disrespect to Seattle. I think FaZe is better in every game mode.
You wouldn't be wrong,
So I just think they just get outclassed here. Going down, that puts us at OpTic Seattle. That's an ugly matchup. Yikes. I'm gonna go my boys, man. You
gotta make in Sunday. I respect it.
I'm gonna go OpTic 3-1. I think they pretty much get the Sunday. I mean, looking at these 3 matches, Surge is your hardest match, I think. But like, these are not really all bad matches to coast to a Sunday. Like, in all things considered, if I was going into a major and was told that Miami, Carolina, and Seattle were the path that I had to take to get top 4, I'd be like, okay, fuck it, let's run it. So I think they do it. I do.
All right. I like that. I like the faith, man. I do.
Thieves, Legion. Both teams have already qualified for champs at this point.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a battle for who wants it more, and I think LAT wants it more.
I love it. I love it out of you.
I'm going to go LAT in the good old LAT game 5.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Which gives us an OpTic LAT.
So they face off anyway. They face off anyway in your bracket.
And this is going to be absolutely insane.
I'd rather them face off in losers round 4 than losers round 1. I will say that.
I'm going to go LAT in a game 5.
Holy shit. Oh, wait a second. Are you serious?
I actually am serious, yes.
Oh my god, chat. Did you hear that?
I am actually being serious. LAT is a good S&D team, and the way that LAT or OpTic's S&D has looked, I just don't have enough faith to give them a game 5 victory over a good S&D team. And honestly, I always like an underdog story, and a team like this making a run at the last major to not only qualify for champs, but to maybe have some motivation going into the major. It's not only cool for the sport and for the game, but also at the same time, even OpTic getting to Sunday at this point, I think would be enough for me to be like, okay, these guys still have some gas in the tank. I don't want to push my luck and say they're just, after looking absolutely god awful for 3 weeks in a row, they're going to go and make a top 3 run.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just by those metrics, I could see this happening for sure. So I'll go LAT making top 3, OpTic bow out top 4. But I think a majority of the Green Wall fans and the players themselves, if we were told, obviously they want to win, but if you told them they were going to make top 4, I think they would take that, considering how bad they've looked.
Okay. I tip it.
Winners finals. Ultra FaZe. Feel like we've been here before. Oh, wait. Nah. We have. Yeah, man. I think this is back-to-back tournaments where Ultra just best FaZe in the winners final, and mark their spot in grand finals. I'm gonna go Ultra in another game 5, I feel like I have so many game 5s. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's how do you not go game 5, especially for like ultra phase? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, it's
Like
hard.
I don't see like you never see either of those teams lose 3-1. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah, no, yeah, they're just too good. I think that's gonna be a battle. Unfortunately, Jake, I think this is where your guys' run ends.
That's fucked up. You don't think we could take down face?
I mean,
No, I'm
sure,
joking.
sure, yeah, but and you guys did just get over the top 4 hump and have beat OpTic at this event, so maybe you guys are just going through the gauntlet. You guys will just you'll go OpTic face and then Toronto in the grand final and just absolutely just Thanos snap the gauntlet.
Hmm.
Uh, but no, I think FaZe win this. I think FaZe win this pretty comfortably, like a 3-1. Um, but I mean, hey, man, top 3 for LAT and a spot at the World Championship. Considering how LAT have looked, I don't think this is really that far fetched. They've
Yeah.
looked pretty good. And this bracket really is not like. Let's go back and look who they played. Hold on, so they beat Miami round 1, by the way, which is like what? Miami round 1. LAT Miami is crazy. Then they lose to Ultra. Okay, it's Ultra. And then you beat Vegas and OpTic. Okay, you beat Vegas and Miami, whatever. OpTic's pretty typical. Um, but you know what?
I'll take that run, bro. I'll take it.
This is not like a so far out of the realm of possibility top 3 run for LAT. I don't really think it is at all.
No, I really like it. I hope it happens.
I'm
All
sure you do.
right, but what's your grand final though? That's what the people want to know.
I got Ultra. I got FaZe.
Does Toronto Ultra get a second? Does FaZe get a second? Who's
I'm just
booking that
gonna.
MVP award?
I'm gonna go with what my gut says, and my gut says that Ultra get it done.
Okay, there it is.
They just beat them online. They just lost in the major grand finals last major, and they were the first team to win a tournament. So I feel like overall throughout the year, they've been like one of the ones that, like when you talk about favorites going into tournaments, it's almost always FaZe. But for some reason this year, I just feel like Ultra have been the sneaky favorites for me. Besides that one mega run that made FaZe went on, like mid season. I just feel like Toronto has just been like this, not an underdog. They're obviously not underdogs, but more like I don't think you could put a favorite between them and FaZe
Mhm.
at any tournament, because if you get an Ultra that you get at Major 1 or an Ultra that we've seen throughout this online split of Major 4, they are a hard team to beat. They're
Mhm.
just polished at everything, and their S&D looks really good right now. So I'll go Ultra. I think this is the first grand finals that goes all 7. I think we
I
get a
like it.
7-map grand finals.
I
And
hope
that
so.
is
I really hope no matter who's in the finals, we get like a full experience. I don't want another quick one. I know there's no fans, which kind of takes away from it, I guess, but I definitely want to like go into a game 7 SND and really be on the edge of my seat.
yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I made a prediction a couple weeks ago saying we'll see a team outside the top 4 in the grand finals, and my bracket says otherwise. Obviously, by this bracket, my team would be LAT, and if you were asking me to pick a team to make the grand finals, I would also say LAT. So,
I love it.
I don't know. I actually think that there could be this bracket is insane, right? OpTic in the losers, FaZe and NY round 1. Like, this is like the tournament for a team outside of top 4 to make a
Mhm.
run. So, I hope it happens, and let's see how I do.
Yeah. So that chat, that's it, man. That's what you got. Preston's top 4 is Toronto, FaZe, LAT, and OpTic. Honestly, I would take that for sure. That
Yeah,
sounds really good. Um, all right. Well, let me refresh this.
that's a top 8 for New York. Yikes, that's rough.
That is rough for New York. Well, I will say I did like a little mock bracket beforehand. We kind of had a pretty similar bracket, so I might just change some stuff up just for the sake of it, just for the sake of being different and some more entertainment, just so we don't look too close together. Um, but I like your bracket. I would totally be down with that coming true.
Yeah, I'm sure you
You know,
were.
I would totally be down with that coming true. All right, so let me get into mine, man. To start off, Toronto versus LAG. I mean, no surprise. I'm going to go Ultra. I'm going to go 3-0. I think I never put enough 3-0s in anything. And if there's going to be a 3-0, especially in winners round 1, it's going to be this series. I mean, this is by far the biggest favorites, I would say, in any of these. Then we get into LAT versus Miami Heretics. And I mean, I've said it all year. I'm going to continue standing by it. I will back my team above any of the other bottom 8 teams every day of the week. So I'm taking LAT in a game 5. I know, and I want to say this. One, I am being fan biased. I'm 100% going to admit it. And two, if you're thinking about this strictly off of logic, I think Miami is probably the favorite here. They have not lost to a bottom 8 team in the last 2 months. But I don't care, bro. I'm an LAT fan. I'm backing my boys. I'm speaking into existence, and I'm giving LAT the game 5 because that's all we know how to win in anyway. So then we got FaZe New York. I'm going to be boring again. I'm going to go FaZe. I'm going to go 3-1. New York has upset potential here for sure, but FaZe is FaZe. They pretty much looked unshakable most of the season. I know they haven't won every event, but for the most part, they look incredible. And New York just got reverse swept by my guys. So I definitely am feeling better about FaZe in this situation. And then we get into probably the best series, honestly, of the winners round 1. I think this one's the hardest to pick. Seattle versus Legion. Seattle have looked better, more consistent. Legion did just beat them in a game 5 online. You went with Seattle, right?
I did. Game 5.
You went with Seattle game 5.
You know, it's cool to have a similar bracket. It's a major.
No, I know. This one's definitely tough. I was planning on going Seattle here just because I think they're a bit more consistent. They've played a bit better on LAN. But Legion also looked good. They got attached, bro. He's one of my favorite players of all time. You know, Nero is also one of my favorite players in the league right now. Man. I'm going to stick by my Seattle pick for now. I'm going to go 3-2, Seattle Surge. I just feel a bit better about them, although I'm not counting Vegas out. They're definitely incredible. But I'm going to go Seattle here. Let me drop down the losers. LAG Ravens. I'm going to follow you here again. I'm going to go Carolina Royal Ravens 3-1. I'll give LAG a map in this one. But, I mean, you know, I've never felt too confident in LAG. I hate to say it, and it's not my LAT hatred towards the other LA team, I swear. But this team just kind of plays slow. They kind of play a little scared. They don't play good against aggressive teams. And on LAN, the Ravens, I feel like, are just absolute fry guys, although Gwyn does struggle. So I'm going to go Ravens in this series. I definitely feel better about them overall. Then we get into OpTic versus Miami, man. And listen, I hate to do it, but I'm going OpTic 3-1 over Miami. I think Miami gets a map off OpTic. Honestly, yeah, I'm not sending it game 5. If it goes game 5, I don't think I could logically pick OpTic. That would be insane. But I just think OpTic is Miami's kryptonite. I think Pred gets that little extra boost against the Vickle and Miami. So it feels bad because, I mean, I just had Miami 5th in my power ranking video I did yesterday. I think Miami is probably, you know, logically the best team in the bottom 8 right now, and I have them going out top 12. Unfortunately, it's just because they play LET round 1. Honestly, if Miami's playing pretty much anyone else in round 1, like if we swapped Surge and Miami, I'd probably pick Miami over Legion, and then they maybe have a bit of a better run here, but it is what it is. I'm sorry to Miami. I actually think they look really good right now. Then we get into Rocker, New York. We've seen this upset previously on LAN this year, back in the first major. I don't think we see it this time around. I'm going to be going New York here. I'll give Minnesota a map to be nice. But I feel like other than Boston, Minnesota is the team I'm least confident in at this point. So, you know, maybe I'll be proven wrong by the Iceman Lamar on LAN, but I'm going to go New York subliners here. And then Legion Boston, I'm going to go Legion. I'll give Boston a map as well, but that's to no surprise. Then we get into elimination round 2. We got the Carolina Royal Ravens versus OpTic Texas. This is tough, man, because you really don't know what OpTic you're going to get. This could be somewhat better, more of what we've seen this season OpTic. It could be, you know, OpTic that we've seen online and they just don't look good. Do we think the guys have enough time to regain and like kind of get back on the same page or figure things out on this semi-land because there's no fans? I'm I'm going to say yes. I'm going to give OpTic the 3-1 here over Carolina. Once again, I don't want to send it 5 because if it goes 5, I feel like I logically cannot pick OpTic. But yeah, man, I feel like maybe I'm just a little bit too caught up in how OpTic's looked all season. I know current form probably matters more, but I mean, OpTic has been, what, a top 2, top 3 team pretty much the entire season, right? I mean, that's all their placements are in the top 3. So I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to give them the dub over Ravens. And then we get New York versus Legion. Now, you had Legion in yours. I was originally going to go Legion, but I was pretty 50-50 on this one. So to be different, I'm going to go New York subliners. Do I want to do it, bro? I don't want to be the same as you. That's the problem. I don't want to, like, just copy your bracket. I feel like that's not as fun. I was going to go 3-2 Legion originally. I was feeling an upset. Nah, okay, I got a new idea. I'm going to go 3-2 New York subliners here. I'm going to change up my original pick. I think New York are still a good team. I obviously think they're the favorites and they should win this series. But I do like what I've seen out of Legion. I trust Dylan Attach a ton. But I'm going to give New York the win here just to be a little different. Even though it's probably the more likely pick on most brackets, just obviously different from yours. Back up top, LAT, Toronto. I mean, listen, I love the boys, but I'm not crazy. I'm going to go Toronto here. I'm going to go 3-1. I think we could take an SND off them maybe. But yeah, it's Toronto at the end of the day. I'm not that fan biased to pick my boys over them, but I would love to see it. And then FaZe versus Surge. I'm also going to go FaZe. I'm going to go 3-1 in that one as well. I think FaZe and Toronto are just the 2 strongest teams. I really don't think that can be argued at this point in time. So I got them facing off in that winners round 1. Bronny James just got drafted by McDonald's. W to Bronny. We'll see LeBron working there next season too. All right, then we get into elimination round 3, man. Seattle Surge versus OpTic Texas. And I think this is where OpTic's regain run comes to an end. I'm going Seattle Surge 3-2. I think it goes 5. And like I said, OpTic's SND has not looked good. Seattle's SND has been pretty competent most of the season. I'm going to give it to the Surge here. I'm sorry to OpTic fans out there, but, I think part of it, too, is, like, this, I think, is good motivation for them to really want to get it together for champs. I feel like if they get, like, a top 4, top 3, they might be like, we're fine. You know what I mean? Like, we're not as bad as we thought we were, as people thought we were. But if they go out top 6, right, this would be top 6, yeah. I think it gives them a little bit of a fire under their ass, especially to, like, really, get Ken a little angry, get the boys locked in. I mean, this has been Ken's major for the last 2 years, so I think going out top 6 would give him some fire. So I'm giving it to Seattle Surge. I think they've looked good. I think they've looked consistent, and I think they can compete. Then we get to LAT versus New York subliners on land. We just reverse swept them. Felt good, feeling good coming into this major. And I'm doing it again, man. Give me LA Thieves in a game 5 versus the New York subliners to book our ticket to the first Sunday and our only well, hopefully not only, hopefully at champs we can make Sunday too, but potentially our only Sunday of the season. LAT get a major 4 buff. We get that no crowd buff. We just beat New York. I think our block against top 4 teams potentially is taken away, and I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be biased. I'm taking the LA Thieves here. And I'm loving it, man. This is all I could ever want right here. Now, if we get top 12, my bracket is absolutely trashed. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. And then we get into elimination round 4, Seattle Surge versus LA Thieves. And Chad, I'm fucking doing it again. I'm taking LA Thieves in another game 5 to get top 3, man. I feel it, man. I'm feeling it. I think we beat a top 4. We reverse swept them. Not only that, we're in LA. The boys can stay at their apartments. They don't have to get a hotel. They can, they can all be boys. They don't have to travel. They're feeling good. They're rested. Team chemistry is high. Vibes are high. And I'm being biased, chat. I don't care. I'm unbiased all the time. And I'm admitting it right now. I'm being biased. It's the last major of the season. And I'm speaking this into existence. Also, thank you, Parker, for the follow on Twitch. But I don't give a shit. I'm being biased. I don't care. Then we get Toronto versus FaZe in winners finals. And I am going to give it to the Toronto Ultra 3-2. I think Toronto has had FaZe's number this year. I don't think that changes just yet. And I have Toronto setting FaZe down to losers bracket. And yeah, this is where the fan bias cheese comes to an end. I do think Atlanta FaZe are going to beat LAT. I think Atlanta FaZe could beat pretty much any team that gets put in this position against them in an elimination finals. So I'm going to go 3-1. I'll give us a map, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it all comes crashing down and we get 3-0'd. That would be sad. That would definitely be sad. Also, Paul with another $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Paul, for first of all for the super chat and also for letting me know, because like I said, this chat widget is a little weird. I'm getting used to it. He said, crazy how the format for the season is set up where a team who didn't win map on land for 2 majors easily qualifies. That is kind of crazy to think that like Miami didn't win a map and they're going to be qualifying probably with a pretty decent seed, whereas LAG's made top 6s, Ravens made a top 6 or 2, and they're fighting for their lives. So that is a little crazy. But yeah, I got Toronto FaZe in the final. You went Toronto here in a game 7. And I don't mean to copy you here, but I'm also going to go Toronto Ultra. I'm going to go 4-2. But I like what I'm seeing out of Toronto, man. I think Envoy's back close to his form as he was. I think Insight's back in form for sure. I think Scrap is the MVP, man. I think Kleenex is honestly like a low-key top 4 sub this year. Like, I think Kleenex has been really, really good. You know, you can never count out FaZe, man. Like, FaZe is... It's hard to pick anyone against FaZe, but especially for Toronto to beat them twice on LAN again in Winners Finals and Grand Finals. But something's calling me to Toronto Ultra. And I'm going to go Ultra here. Same thing that you had. Same thing New York did last year. First major, last major. Maybe even champs as well. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to go Toronto Ultra 4-2 over FaZe, and I'm locking in my pick'ems. I'm submitting these. I cannot make changes. So chat, you know it's true. You know it's locked. Let's fucking go.
I like it, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
I pray, man. I pray LAT don't go out top 12. If they go out top 12 after all this, bro, I'm going to feel so bad. I'm going to feel so bad.
Yeah, you will, because it probably won't make chance.
That's, yeah, that's fucked up right there.
Wow.
But, yeah, you know, man, this is going to be a major. That's for sure. This is going to be a major. It's going to be interesting.
I hope so, man. I hope it's not boring.
There's no way it's going to be... I mean, I guess it's possible we just see, like, the top 4 and the top 4 again, but I really do think we're going to see a bottom team make top 4 at the very minimum. No disrespect to OpTic, but they're obviously not looking good. New York is very wishy-washy. I think FaZe and Ultra should be locks, but honestly, who knows? But chat, let us know who you guys have winning, and do you have any insane runs? Like, we both have LAT making insane runs, but do you guys have any other insane runs, whether it be any other bottom team? I definitely want to know who you guys are picking and any, you know, hot take, dark horses you guys are thinking of.
Boston is actually going to make the run, win the event, qualify for champs off the skin of their teeth, and LAT is going to lose a champ spot because of it.
Dude, if that happens, I'll become a Boston Breach fan. I'll buy a Boston Breach jersey and I'll wear it every episode, bro.
I'm not capping. I swear, this is Stranger Things. It's just Friends font. It says Friends in the Friends font, but it's Friends Don't Lie. You can't see the Don't Lie. These are the Stranger Things character. I promise. I've never seen Friends. I liked the shirt though.
LAT goes out top 12 again. I hate that. I hate that, Slothy. Now, honestly, logically, from a neutral standpoint, I almost think that makes sense. I mean, we're playing Miami, a team that's really in form. Metals has honestly been one of the best players this split. Then we go up against OpTic, who's a team you just can't count out. I mean, we saw how they looked a month ago at Major 3, so I understand. And if I wasn't an LAT fan, I'm not going to lie to you, I probably would do the same thing, but I'm an LAT fan, and I'm going to be fan biased cheese. I don't care. I don't care.
Imagine a world where OpTic actually makes like a super deep run. I actually think the timeline would break.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie, bro. I hope it doesn't happen because I like the toxic OpTic fans, Twitter would be just fucked for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really don't think we'd ever hear the end of it. Like, you guys said we were trash. We went 1-6, and then look what happened on LAN, blah, blah. I just don't think I could take it, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think I could take it. I'm not going to lie.
I'd be calling everybody out. Oh, I'd be calling so many people out.
I see Nick said the winner of FaZe New York wins the event.
Ooh.
That's honestly not a bad take, because when you think about it, they're going up against Legion or Surge in the second round, and then probably Ultra. But if you lose to Ultra, you're guaranteed a top 3 if you lose in winners finals. So it's definitely like, that's actually, I think that's a realistic take. I'm not gonna lie, my
I
dream
can't see New
scenario.
York. I cannot see New York making that run. I'm
You don't
sorry.
think so?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I think that team is so bad for being so good.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
I mean,
They
it
are
does, yeah.
they're so good, but they're so bad. I don't really know how to explain it.
No, I mean, you're definitely not wrong. They definitely are a hard team to think about in terms of what they're going to do. But if LAT is not going to win the event, I wouldn't mind New York winning it if I had to pick the other top 4 team just to make it more interesting and stuff. NYSL usually beats Toronto regardless of form. Check their head-to-head. Let me look.
Is that true?
Let me look. Let me look. Let me
If that's
see.
true.
New
That's
York
true. Maybe you do
completed
have some
matches. All right, let's
spicy.
see. So Toronto beat them 3-1 in Major 3 qualifiers, but then New York 3-0'd them at Major 2. And then Toronto beat them Major 1. So it's 2-1 in favor of Toronto right now this season.
You lied to me, Nick.
Unless I'm faded and I can't count. I believe it is 2-1 in
Unless you're
favor.
including last year, which would not be fair.
Yeah, it looks like it's 2-1 in favor of Toronto versus New York. Talking about this year and last. I mean, it's different teams, different game,
Different
different
teams,
form.
and they won 3 events.
Hydra's never beaten FaZe on LAN outside of MW2. Well, that's not a good stat for Hydra. Maybe it changes.
Wait, is that? No, that's not true. FaZe or New York beat FaZe in Cold War to get to the grand finals. They ended up losing, but they got there.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, on land. Oh.
Yeah, on
Oh,
LAN.
that actually, yeah, that actually might be right. Sorry, I missed the
Yeah,
on
and
land
I
part.
mean, New York is pretty decent at Vista. FaZe has been going down. Maybe FaZe don't want to play it against them. I mean, it's not out of the world of possibility that New York beats FaZe. I don't think anyone really. I mean, I'm sure there's some people saying that. I'm not saying that. I definitely think New York could beat FaZe. But if I had to put percentages on it, it's probably like 75-25, maybe 70-30 in favor of FaZe. Like, I definitely think they should be the favorites.
Yeah.
Scrap is 6-1 versus Draza on LAN. I'm pretty sure that is true. Yeah. First of all, playing each other 7 times on LAN over the course of 2 seasons is that's just great. That's just great storyline. They're feeding us. But
They're
also
feeding.
6-1 is kind of crazy. Could be 6-3 by the end of this. I mean, to be fair, we were saying OpTic is like what, 10-1 or 10-2 versus FaZe, and then they lost a bunch of times this year. So things change. No, I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm just using it as an example.
Thanks, Jake.
But things do indeed change. Sorry about that.
That's all good.
Sorry about that.
You had to throw that in there after the 2-3 weeks they've had. We can't beat freaking Minnesota or Boston. You had to throw in that we've lost to FaZe 6 times. Damn.
Hey, well, you beat them last major when it mattered, so
It's true.
you know what I mean?
Think we'll get back to that form? Who knows?
Maybe by champs time.
I'm cool with that. I'll gladly sacrifice this dog shit ass major for a champs time thing. Cause I'll be there and I'm selfish. Yeah.
I will say, if it's not going to be LAT winning champs, I would probably want OpTic to win it, because that'd probably be the most exciting to be there in person, with most people being OpTic fans, for them to win.
I'd probably agree.
To
I'd probably agree. I hope they win it, and then I'm probably gonna have to absolutely book it
the airport.
to the airport so I don't miss my flight.
Yeah.
Cause I gotta get home. I haven't been home in like 18 days at that point, and I work on Monday, so God bless.
Damn. Paul said, as crazy as it sounds, Cell is the biggest key factor for FaZe at this event. He struggled in big matches the last 2 majors, even when winning Major 2. I mean, Cell definitely like a key factor for sure. It's hard. It's hard to pick a key factor for those guys because they're just all so consistent for the most part. I mean, yeah, dude, they're just all so good. They're all so good. Cell's KD did go down this stage. He actually, this is like the first stage in a while. He didn't lead in KD. Scrap took it from him.
Fucking Tuzon, man.
Lost to Boston. Tuzon is a Boston fan too. He's a Boston fan and the biggest OpTic hater, so it blends perfectly.
Christ.
FaZe win champs to have Simp and Abizi solidify GOAT status. It's an argument. I don't know if they solidify GOAT status, but it's definitely an argument.
That's an argument that we'll have later on Around the CDL.
Exactly, if they win. If they win. Okay, chat, you guys can keep throwing all the things you want in chat, by the way. But I did want to pull up. We put out a tweet from the Around the CDL Twitter, which you should follow if you're not already. It's linked down below. We've been putting out some daily tweets, kind of asking questions and giving, things for you guys to sort of talk about. And people have been talking about them and discussing things, so it's been pretty cool. We can run through some of them. But specifically, I wanted to talk about hot takes because I put out a tweet from the account that said, give us your hot take. It could be about anything. And I wanted to, talk with Preston and obviously you guys about kind of some of these hot takes in here. So let's see. The first one here is from Slayer. I don't think Slayer's in chat right now, but Slayer's always here, so shout out to him. And his thing was, some people say you don't need an IGL to win big. And then he basically went on to say that he thinks every team should have an IGL and it's essential for guiding the team and making smart decisions, but not every team... Well, he said not every team, but you need someone basically as a role similar to an IGL. So, Preston, in your opinion, and chat, in your opinion, what do we think about the IGL role in COD? Is it something teams need? Is it over talked about or under talked about? What do we think?
It entirely depends on the foursome that a team is comprised of. It does. Fivesome if you include MW19 and Black Ops 4.
Oh, yeah.
No, but here's the thing. Is it needed? I'm not so sure it's needed, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps. If you have one guy that's there that consistently calms the troops, gets everybody on page, is always resetting pace, is always resetting conversation, making sure the small talk's happening, getting everything flowing on the team, the comms, the vibes, everything going with the team, the teamwork. I would say that, those teams typically have a solidified IGL. Needed is a very loose term for me because I don't think it's needed. But I definitely think it is a very, very big benefit to have. I do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely think an IGL is never going to hurt. Like, it's never going to hurt a team to have a good IGL. But I will say, I definitely stand in the group of people that does not think it is needed. I think an IGL will always help, like I said, but I don't think... when you look at FaZe, I don't think they have someone we would all point to as the IGL. I'm sure every team has someone that probably is more the vocal leader in the comms. But I don't think there's anyone on that team that we're like, yeah, Simp is definitely the IGL. Like you would say for OpTic, it's Kenny, or LAT, it's probably Ghosty, or it was OCTANE in the past, or, all those sorts of things. So I don't think it's necessarily needed, but I do think the concept of someone giving leader type comms in game is needed. You know what I mean? So I guess it's needed to an extent, but I don't think you need one of those solidified, you don't need some vet that can, you don't need a Kenny, you don't need a Slasher, you don't need an OCTANE. I think teams can win without those types of guys. But obviously at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it's like a game 5, round 11, and everyone's frazzled and, nervous. You need someone to calm the comms. You need someone to make a call that everyone can agree with. But also, I do think every player needs to be able to calm and give IGL type things all the time. You know what I mean? There's going to be times where, let's say Kenny, for example, because I think it's the best example to use, where maybe Kenny's playing bad. Maybe he doesn't feel good. Maybe he's down in the dumps. Someone else needs to be able to step up in those comms and take control. Or maybe someone else is playing really good and everything they're doing is working that day for whatever reason. Shotzi, if that's him, he needs to be able to say, like, this is what I'm going to do. You follow me or you do this. Like, I think there needs to be some free flowing to it. So I do think you need leadership from every player to an extent, but I don't think you need like a solidified IGL.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
But it's never going to hurt. It's never going to hurt. Let's see. This question from Matt, it's a little bit past due, but he basically asked, like, if this FaZe go undeniable but not win the major, do we think, like, I think a better way to spin this, since we're already past like FaZe going undefeated, because obviously they did not go undefeated. Do we think like Toronto and FaZe are the only ones that can win this major?
Nope.
Because they're the two teams right now that I think are far and away above everyone else. Like, I think there's a solid gap between them and the rest of the team, or the rest of the teams. But like, do we actually, like, do you realistically feel in your heart and in your brain that any other team can really take this from them?
I think there's 10 teams that can win this major.
10?
9.
9?
Yep.
Who are you getting rid of? Boston, LAG, and Rocker?
Yep.
I think that was an obvious pick.
No, but I mean, yeah, probably. Only because of the spot that OpTic's in now. If OpTic had sucked but somehow still made it to winners, I would probably throw them in it as well, because it gives them that extra series leeway. But they don't have that, so like, I mean, I do genuinely believe that they can do it. I just, if I'm like realistically throwing poker chips down on the table and you're asking me to bet, I'm not putting their name in that. I'm not. I'll put those two names in there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously anyone can win, but if you put me at a table and I had to put all my cash on a one team or two teams, I'm not picking anyone other than Ultra or FaZe. There's not a chance in the world.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have in here? From Jason Bryant here, he said the MVP is biased on who wins and not who is most valuable. Then he said Scrap is MVP, but if Simp wins, he'll get it no matter what. I think more that first part, I'd love to know everyone's opinion on. Is MVP based on who wins or who is actually most valuable? What's the difference there? And like, how would you differentiate it?
I'm a little confused what he means by that.
I think. Sorry, you can go if you had.
Does he mean like? Yeah.
Like, I think based on, like, if we're looking at this season, right? Like right now, the only MVP options are Scrap, Simp, and I guess you could throw Shotzi in there because he won a major. But we're essentially at that point in the season where it's like, if FaZe wins, Simp's the MVP. If Scrap wins, Scraps, or Ultra wins, Scrap's the MVP. Okay. When in reality, I think what he's saying is it shouldn't be based on like what team wins the most. It should be based on who's actually the most valuable player.
I see. Yeah, that's probably fair, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying. Like Connor McDavid just won the Conn Smythe even though he just lost in the finals.
I mean, he was incredible the whole playoffs, though.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it should be. Those who are literally the most valuable to the team should, regardless of the result. Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, that's probably valid. Sucks, but that's just the way it is. I mean, that's the way it's always been, really. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is in sports.
But
so.
At the same time, you could play devil's advocate and say that the teams that are winning are because of those players that win the MVP award. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, Cold War FaZe, who won season MVP? Was it Simp?
It was Simp.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Simp had an undeniable MVP year. MW2, it was Hydra. Hydra had an undeniable MVP year. What was Cold War? What was that?
Vanguard was Cell. They did not win. That's the one difference.
Hey, I mean, there's that. So, yeah, he was unbelievable that year. So, I don't know. I don't think it's really as bad as people might make it out to be. I think it's just kind of the way that it goes. Typically, if you are an MVP level player and you're playing at that MVP level, your team's going to succeed. So, I mean, is there a player right now that you think is MVP level that their team isn't really winning? Hydra, maybe.
Hydra's the only one.
Yeah.
Hydra's the only one in conversation. But it, like what Johan said, replied to this tweet, he said, if your team can't win, the player shouldn't be MVP. And I do think to a point that stands, right? Like there's the lens of like Hydra might be the most valuable player in the league because without him, New York literally might be like a top 6, top 8 team. But they also haven't won. So how valuable is he really? Because in COD, the only thing that matters is winning. You know what I mean? It's not like in the NBA where the MVP is based off the regular season and like they can pick anybody who's on like a top 3, top 4 seeded team, let's say. In this, like we have events throughout the year, and if you're not winning your event, it does who cares? But the value doesn't transact. You know what I'm saying? If you don't win in COD, it doesn't matter how many online qualifiers you win. If you don't win the event, are you really that? Like, how valuable are you really? Yeah, CDL is regular season, exactly. But we have events in the NBA. In the NBA, there's no events. It's just the schedule.
You're gonna get cooked.
No, I don't see why I would get cooked for that. I think it's true. And I'm not saying Hydra's not valuable. Like, I think he's probably 4th in my MVP at this point.
You don't think Dan Marino could have won an MVP even though he never won a Super Bowl?
Well, but I'm saying the difference is the Super Bowl is after the regular season. So I don't know how it works in the NFL because I don't really watch it. But in the NBA, the MVP is based on the regular season. So if we're saying the majors don't count and MVP is only based on online qualifiers because that's the regular season, then that changes the whole subject. But the majors are a part of the regular season in the CDL.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just a rough take because at the end of the day, there are other players on your team. You can only, like right now, I think Hydra in the situation that he is right now could very well be MVP. He cannot help the fact that his other three, really Kiz and Skies have been struggling and Sib is just inconsistent.
Yeah, Sib is very consistent.
He either just takes over completely or he has an absolute stinker. He can't help that, right? I don't really think, of course. But at the same time, I get what you're saying. Really, are you that valuable of an asset if you aren't winning? So I understand what you're saying. I really do.
Yeah, and I also want to clarify, like, you can be very, very valuable without winning, obviously. I mean, look at Hydra, right? Hydra, he might be one of the best. I mean, he's easily one of the best players in the league. He could be some of the best player in the league, depending on who you ask. But, like, at the end of the day, COD comes down to winning. And because there's actual events, it's not just like a 80-game schedule. There's like an actual event with a trophy. You want to win that. Like, that is the goal for each major is to win. And if you don't win at least one, I mean, Celium obviously did it. So I guess it goes against part of what I'm saying. But I guess you could have argued Dashy should have won because they won an event and he was second in MVP. And they were really close in that race.
I mean...
So I think you need to win one. Unless, like, Hydra's dropping a 1.4, his teammates are dropping 0.9s, and they're still competing for top 4s. Like, that's different.
To be fair, to back up your claim a bit more, to me, most valuable means most valuable. Mm-hmm. Where if they are replaced, it's not going to be nearly as good for a team. They came off a season winning 3 events. Including champs, changed their team, and now they are struggling to beat the top 4. So
Priesta's most valuable is what I'm hearing.
Hey, I mean, you said it, not me.
No, I mean, obviously I'm joking. And yes, I see what Rick says in chat that, like, they give MVPs at the event, but isn't that even more reason why those people should be more looked at for MVP of the season? Because they're the MVP of the event that their team won. And at the end of the day, the goal is to win. Maybe it is Slasher, bro. Low key. It could be Slasher, like Tuzan said. They dropped Slasher and lost like 16 in a row.
I don't know. It's a discussion that is going to go on and on forever. I mean, there's both sides to it, right? And I see both. Yeah. It depends on the situation entirely, I think. I really do.
For sure. And then, yes, Kleenex obviously won major, won MVP. I personally think it should have went to Scrap. I think Kleenex was great. Honestly, Insight was great too. My vote would have went to Scrap. But hey, I
Oh,
mean,
I
listen.
thought it was Insight. It wasn't Insight?
No, it's
Oh, he won
Kleenex.
finals. Oh,
It was Kleenex.
gotcha.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think MVP should go to most valuable, but I do low-key think you kind of need to win. But hey, Celium did it, man, so who knows?
He did indeed.
Let's see. Hunter said one of the bottom 8 teams will clinch a top 3 placing. I mean, we both had that, so we definitely
We have
agree.
that, so fair enough, man.
There are only 4 majors, and a COD is a team game. You can't win without a team. I mean, it's true. It's definitely true. But, dude, I just, like, if you take Ghosty off of LAT, would we have won a series this year? Does that make him most valuable? Like, obviously not. You know what I mean? Like, our series versus New York, we would have lost if Ghosty doesn't pick up a 2-piece with a nade and then gets another kill with the pistol on the control. So I do think, like, you need to have some level of winning. You know what I mean?
He's definitely MVP for you guys.
Exactly, exactly. So, like, value is very subjective. But at the end of the day, the best player on one of the best teams is typically going to win it, which I don't think is wrong. But
Just
I do
the way
think,
of the road, man.
but I do think it's not as fun when it's like whoever wins Major 4, like that best player is going to win MVP. Like that definitely makes it not as fun.
Yeah, like Connor McDavid's coming off like a 100+ point season, 150. It's like an insane season he had, and his absolute playoff run was diabolical, right? Are the Oilers as good if they don't have Connor McDavid?
Oh,
I mean, we're talking hockey. I'm just putting it into a perspective outside of COD.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way that it goes sometimes. The teams that have these superstars that are playing at superstar level they're gonna be in the MVP conversation. It is what it is. There is correlation for sure, but it is definitely it's a justified correlation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch hockey. That's valid. I was just using something that I know that it was outside of COD.
Yeah, I mean, you could translate it to you could translate to any LeBron team he's ever been on if you watch basketball. Any Messi team he's ever been on in soccer, you know what I mean? Also, Paul with another $4.99 said, hot take, it's not fair to say Simp can't win because of his teammates. They can't take from how good he's been. Simp could be the one making them that good. I agree. I mean, I definitely, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Scrap or Simp for MVP. Like, I'm not trying to say anything different, just for the record. No,
it's Scrap.
I mean, I agree, but I get flamed for that.
No, it's Scrap.
I agree thinking it's Scrap, but people think I'm hating on FaZe.
That's not even a diss. It's not even a diss at Simp. I think he's unbelievable, and I think he's the clear cut too. I just think it's Scrap. I do.
Mm-hmm. Listen, man, I agree. We've talked about this. I agree. But I definitely agree with you, Paul. I do think, like, if someone's like, oh, Simp plays with 3 other superstars, or if you don't want to call Gerard superstar, whatever, 2-3 other superstars, he shouldn't win MVP. Like, I mean, Simp is that fucking guy, bro. Like, Simp is insane. Simp has done so much for that team. I mean, so has everybody, because COD is only a 4-player game, but Simp has been incredible. He's had insane stats, insane pacing, impact. You know, he's him. Let's see. What else do we have here? Here's from Judge. Judge in the chat. Shout out to Judge. He said, Vanguard is the best year in CDL history, and it was more than just my team winning it all. Dude, Vanguard might have been the most fun year I had. I guess maybe I'm biased too, as well.
We talking playing or watching? Playing,
watching.
No.
I'm talking about watching.
Watching low-key Vanguard slapped. I
thought Vanguard was a good-ass game to watch.
I think it was just, it was so, like, fast-paced. The games always came down to, like, it almost felt like every game came down to the wire. Like, very rarely did you see teams get, like, slammed. Bokage? Oh, my God.
I love Bokage.
Holy shit, dude. Watching that map... that's actually a valid take. Vanguard gets shit on because it sucked to play.
Yeah, but it was not a fun game to play.
Watching was unbelievable.
Rick also asked, if you put Simp or Scrap on NYSL in place of Hydra, what's their season look like?
You can't put Scrap.
I mean,
they're not the same rule.
Yeah, I mean, just like a general answer, I feel like it's the same.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same. I mean, Scrap is just a great slayer like Hydra. Simp might be a little bit on the, like, not as fast as Hydra, but Simp is also incredible. I'm sure he'd play off of Kismet well. I feel like it's the same. They probably don't win an event, but I'm sure they're fighting for top 4, top 3 pretty often. I mean, maybe they don't get a top 12 major one low key, but you know, who knows? I think it's I don't think
I
you
think
could
it's the
put it.
same.
There's no one. I don't think there's anyone you could put on New York and over Hydra that would like make them win. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that New York team is going to win. Unfortunately,
Jimbo.
that's true. If you let Prime Jimbo on there, like you couldn't even put Prime SCUMP on that team. I don't think they're gonna win at this point in the way that how competitive it is.
Yeah. Jimbo was cheating and still only got 2 wins. That is fucking diabolical.
Hey, dude, he wasn't cheating, bro.
You know
Free my
how
guy.
bad you have to be? Unless he wasn't cheating at that point, which I guess would make sense. But still.
Let's see. Couple more on here. Clayster is this is from Johan. The Clayster is the GOAT of the scene. Krim just gets more attention after doing the guy bad on 3 separate occasions. Is Clayster the GOAT? Chat, is Clayster the GOAT?
No, next. Get that shit off my screen.
No, Clayster's definitely not the GOAT. He is, you know, he's got 3 rings. He's always going to be talked about as one of the greatest, but no, he's like 4 or 5, I think, on most lists. Maybe 3 on some, but like 4 or 5.
Come on, Clay. Listen, Clay deserves his flowers, but he had rookie year attach. He had Sip and Abeezy. He had he had Shotzi, dude. MW Shotzi. Like, no disrespect. He's still the greatest, but let's not forget who the dude was teaming with when he won.
I mean, he did win Finals MVP in Advanced Warfare. In Champs.
I didn't watch back then, so...
He was their best player at Champs in Advanced Warfare. I will give him that.
I just know that...
He won an X Games gold medal. 3 rings.
That had an absolute legacy season.
19 wins on his career right now.
And I'm not disrespecting.
Millions earned.
I think I have Clay in my top 5. I think he's 4th on my list.
I think I had him 4 as well on my list.
To call him GOAT is ridiculous, in my opinion. He's not the greatest.
Yeah, no. But I've seen people argue it. Okay, last hot take on this tweet. Abeezy over Simp all time.
Yeah.
No. Serious? Oh. Because honestly, I think it's reasonable. The only reason I wouldn't do it is because Simp just has the accolades. Like, he's got more MVPs. Yeah. But I will say, I've said this for years, and I've been flamed for it. I kind of think Simp is better than Abeezy because his role is harder. But I've been flamed for saying that. And Simp has the MVPs. When you're building an all-time list, I try to go less off of my feelings about the players and more like what they've actually done. And Simp obviously has the accolades.
I just think Abeezy is a harder player to replace. Simp is obviously one of the greatest, but there's very few people that have the impact that Abeezy has.
I agree.
But I don't know. You still can't put him above Simp on an all-time list. I mean, Simp has many MVPs, lots of finals MVPs. I mean, you can't just based off that alone. But there is 1,000% an argument to be made that Abeezy is harder to replace on that team than Simp is. 1,000%.
Facts. And this actually leads me into another tweet that we put out on the Around the CDL account. If the CDL reset and there was a draft, who would you take at the #1 overall pick? And the reason I bring this up, though I transitions well, is because I said Abeezy. And I think some people agreed. A lot of people said Hydra, Scrap, Simp, Shotzi. But I said Abeezy because I think he's the best player in the league at the hardest job in the game. And that's the entry role. I think if you're building a team to win, taking content out of this equation, if I was thinking about content, I'd go Scrap because the dude does content and he's one of the best players in the league. But I think, dude, I think Abeezy is like the guy to build around because he does the hardest job at the best, most consistent level. Like, you take Abeezy out of a team and you put in, like, let's say, like, Kismet or Envoy or Kleenex, like, it's not the same. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I think it goes off what you just said. He might be the hardest person to replace in the league, which is why I would pick him.
I think that's entirely valid. I think that take is entirely valid. I took Scrap. I went more of the overall route. Guys, content. If you guys haven't watched Scrap content, what are you doing, dude? I don't think I've ever made it this far in a season where I'm still watching Call of Duty content. That dude's content is hilarious. He's fucking comedy.
Mm-hmm.
He's hilarious. He's a great personality in the scene, let alone being absolutely disgusting at the role that he does. And he's young, so it's hard not to just love the dude. Seriously,
Facts.
it's hard to look at this guy and say this is the guy that I want on my team. That being said, those are 6 studs on your screen, man. Like if you're starting a
you
team
could pick
with,
anyone else too. This is just the 6 guys I thought were the prime options.
if you're starting a team with any of those 6 guys, like you're feeling good. you're feeling good. So it's all you can make an argument for any of these 6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
You really can.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we got a lot of options. We got 134 replies to this tweet, 100,000 views on this tweet. So people be liking some of the Around the CDL stuff. So maybe it'll get us some more people in here as well.
W.
But yeah, I definitely think it'd be interesting, dude. I still think we got to do a pod episode where we get 9 other people and we do a 12-man CDL draft and we actually draft out teams using like the players that played this season. It could be an interesting off-season idea. But just to see like whose team comes out the best when you actually do a real snake draft and it's not top-heavy talent like we have in the actual league.
I'm down.
But yeah, that's definitely an interesting thing. What else do we have here? How about this one? Rank these 5 ARs. Dashy, Celium, Scrap, Draza, Kenny this season. What do you guys got, chat? What's your...
Who are my options?
Dashy, Celium, Scrap, Draza, and Kenny.
Scrap 1.
Just this season, chat. Just this season. In general, that would be too easy.
Scrap 1, probably... Draza 2. Dashy 3, Cell 4, Kenny 5, probably would be my pick.
I see chat. Everyone has Scrap 1. Thank God. I'm just glad we all have our eyes on. I see Cell second. I see Draws second in pretty much every list. Kenny's last. Actually, Kenny's not last in Rick's list. He's got Kenny third.
No Kenny hate. I love Kenny. That's not Kenny hate. He's with 5 of the greatest ARs in the league. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
How's that Kenny hate?
I think my list would be Scrap, Cell, Draws, Dashy, Kenny. Unfortunately for Ken, I'd put him last. I feel bad for Ken.
We need to stop with that shit now. I am not a Kenny hater at all. I love Ken. I just think that those 4 AR players have been better this year. There's nothing wrong with that.
This guy's hating on Kenny.
Fuck off. I also think Kenny is huge for OpTic. Hold on, chat.
You're gonna get him fired up, chat.
Chat. Fucking gain. I was asked a question. Fucking gain. Rate the fuck now.
No, I think unfortunately listen, Ken brings the intangibles, and as a fan, it's so hard to rate those, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so hard to say, like, how much effect Kenny really has. We can say, like, oh, they won this year, they look better than previous years. Kenny definitely does a lot. But it's hard to, when you look at the stats, to put Kenny above any of these guys. And you watch the gameplay, too. Kenny, especially recently, Kenny's been pretty underwhelming.
Acting like the dude doesn't...
No, Kenny definitely does have takeover ability. But we're talking about, look at who's on the screen, bro. Like, look at who's on this. This ain't MVP Kenny, you know? Like, this ain't LAT Major 4 or TK Kenny. Like, look at the guys he's on screen with. Draws has been more impactful than Celium on FaZe. I think they're really close. The only reason I pick Celium over Draws in terms of ranking is Celium's SND has been significantly better than Draws's this year. Like, significantly better. But Draza plays really fast. Keeps up with the tiny terrors. So I think either way is fine. Like, I wouldn't argue over Draws or Cell, whichever one you have over each other. Yeah, Preston's tweaking. You guys got him tweaking, chat.
It's just ridiculous.
Dude, what do you got against Kenny, bro?
I hate him. Fucking sucks.
Oh, clip it, Shaq. Clip it. No,
He's
don't
fucking
clip it.
god awful.
Don't
Get him
clip
off the
that.
fucking team.
Send him back to LAT, bro. Sell over Dashy is devil work? I mean, we're talking about Cellium, bro. I think there's an argument either way. Like, that's another one where I really wouldn't be like, you know, oh, you have Dashy over Cellium, you're crazy. Like, I think either way it works. But, I mean, Cellium's the most consistent player, or one of the most consistent players in the league, depending on how you want to look at it. The numbers he puts up is incredible. And I know people will say, oh, look at who he's got in front of him. But, like, I don't know, dude. I can't discredit him for how good his teammates are as well.
Damn, Paul's feeding the family.
Oh shit, Paul, another $4.99. Hot take: if Dashy or Kenny had Cell's number, he'd be MVP favorite. People just hate Cell, not Preston. Look at how consistent Cell has been for years. First of all, Paul, thank you again for the $4.99, bro. You're going crazy with it. You're going crazy. We very much appreciate it.
I don't know. I feel like Cell gets a lot of credit in general, to be honest. Everybody kind of looks at Cell like how consistent he is. I think people just hate on him sometimes because with his play style, if FaZe lose or struggle, he kind of gets scapegoated because of the play style that he plays. Like it looks like sometimes he's like just hardcore baiting.
Yeah.
He gets his flowers. Cell gets his flowers. People talk about how consistent he is. He's one of the most consistent players in the league. I don't know.
I mean, Cell definitely has, like, he gets the LeBron treatment where, like, the numbers he puts up aren't wow anymore. You know what I mean?
What the fuck?
What happened? Back in black over there. You know, I kind of agree with Paul to an extent. I think if Dashy was putting up 1.3 every series, people would be talking about him like he's like the next coming of the GOAT. That is funny.
I'll fight for my life over here.
Dude, he's going. This guy's losing it, bro.
That has me tweaking, and that was the stupidest shit ever. I just thought it was so fucking funny.
He's losing it, bro.
God damn it.
But yeah, I do think Cell does get a lot of credit. People know how good Cell is. But I do think P gets overlooked a bit at this point because it's just like, oh, Cell put up another 1.3. Like, it's just, unless he puts like a 1.6, it's like not cool anymore. You know what I mean?
He's beating himself. He's just so consistent that when he does those things that are freak numbers to everybody else, it's just Cell. He's beating himself up.
In Cold War, voted by the players, Cell was voted #1. I mean,
Cell's disgusting, brother. I will never say Cell's.
I mean, in Cold War, it was what, like Simp, Beezy, and Cellium were like the top 3 players.
I will never ever say that Cell is not disgusting. He is gross. He's obviously been on this team for years.
For good reason.
For good reasons. Amidst struggles, they've continued to stick together, stuck with
true.
him.
I forgot about Cammy. Cammy would probably be #3 for me. That guy was fucking insane.
What an absolute legacy year.
Really, right? Dude, that's got to be like, what other one-off years like that were that insane? Like Cold War Cammy.
Paul, you're good, brother. You don't have to explain yourself. I respect you support your people.
Hell yeah.
As everybody should.
Yo, you're getting proposed to in chat right now, just for the record.
You have beautiful eyes, man. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that, of course.
Dylan Cod, BO4. That's a good one.
Valid.
Yeah, Cold War Cammys. That shit's an anomaly, bro. I want to see that again. I hope he gets another shot in what's it called? Next year in Black Ops 6. What's good, Angel? How we doing?
Gunless IW or Gunless World War II.
He was pretty incredible. Gunless had multiple years where he was really good, though.
Standy, valid. Standy is valid. Never that was a
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good one. Cold War Standy?
that's true. Gunless was good for World War II too, and then he started to kind of fall off a cliff a little bit after that. Who else? There's definitely some other
I'm
candidates.
trying to think of like people that just had like crazy Shotzi Modern Warfare 29. Joking, I'm joking. Oh man, Miracles in Black Ops 2. That's a good one. Mir came in, won like his first 3 events or some shit, and then like I was just didn't really do anything for what, another year or two, and then he just stopped playing.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Black Ops 3 fellow? What was the game after Black Ops 3? IW?
IW was after.
No, he was good in whatchamacallit too. He was good at IW too. They just
There's some good ones.
Facento's a good one.
There's some good ones out there for not one hit wonders for some of these people, but some big, seasons.
No, we can't count Karma and Crim. We can't. I mean, just because of the takeover, sure, but those guys are champions, man.
Nah, those guys are terrible, bro. AW Scump, throw him on the list. IW Formal, throw him on the list.
Graps, World War II. Graps was good in a couple other titles.
World War II Zinni. Oh, shit.
Christ.
Sorry, Zen.
My bad, Zen.
Parzellian in Black Ops 4.
Pars? Wow, what a name.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Christ.
There's some good ones.
What about fucking Jet Li?
Oh man. The last thing I had for us to talk about on here was Cloud9 buying New York Subliners.
Ah, yeah, that's pretty big.
It's definitely some big news that we didn't touch on yet. It's not like a finalized thing. It looks like it's going to be like kind of phased in, and like in 2025 it's going to be a thing. But this kind of came out of nowhere. Like there was no leaks, there was no rumors. And I guess this technically is a leak / rumor, but there wasn't like anything really hinting at this. It was just all of a sudden like report. Cloud9 is planning to acquire the New York Sub or NYXL, I think. So like, even the top brand over NYSL. But what are your thoughts on this?
I think this is good.
You like it?
I do. Not because it's Cloud9, which is a pretty reputable name. Obviously that makes it cool too. But I think to me this means that this is one step in the direction of the possibility of us losing these franchising tags and pure like new franchise team logos and city-based model, whatever you want to call it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to the glory days where the orgs represent the orgs, and the orgs aren't representing a team that's representing a city that's representing yada yada yada. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of this aspect. I do think it got a wide variety. Maybe wide variety is a little bit of a stretch, but I think maybe city-based is good for like people that have not watched the competitive side,
Yeah,
and are just rooting for like a team that's like in their area and are trying to get into it. That's cool because they don't know better. That's fine. But I like the orgs, man. I like going in and rooting for the organizations. I like seeing the organization logos up there, and I hope that this merger, I mean, we see Rockers merged with
G2.
what is it, G2. So these are some pretty big names in like other esports that we could see kind of go back to the old way that it was. Hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely like it. I agree with, I think it was Paul said a little earlier. I kind of wish they bought like a bottom team. I mean, I also saw someone say that Cloud9 cheap out on their FPS rosters, but I kind of wish they bought like LAG since they don't try and, had like a more just made a new interesting team rather than taking over a team that's already kind of up there and people know about and has fans. But either way, I'm happy to see Cloud9 in. It definitely shows COD has still got that relevancy. It still has a chance to grow. The format has to change, of course. Like I agree with what Rick said in chat. It's definitely the format, I think, that's going to hold things back more. But I agree with you. I wonder if like teams are going to be free to like change back to OpTic Gaming, change back to FaZe Clan, like, you know, change their logo and their names and everything back and get rid of the city. Where if they kind of have to keep it going forward, or if it's up to their discretion, whatever they want to do. So I don't know. I don't mind the city base. Like I think it's fine. I do agree. I think it helps for new fans or casual fans to kind of get into it a little bit easier. Lowers that level. Because if you go to try to watch anything else and it's like, who do I want to be a fan of? OpTic Gaming or 100 Thieves? Or it's like, what the hell are these things talking about? You know what I mean? But if you see OpTic Texas and you're like, oh shit, I live in Texas. Like, let me see what this is all about. So it'll be interesting to see if they change that or not.
We'll see. I mean, the big problem with the CDL has already been fixed, which is the money and sorry, massive buy-ins and shit like that. So we're at least already step in the right direction. But
yeah,
I just want old COD. I want old COD back, man. I'm all for change and switching it up and a variety of different things. But I want the old.
We changed the city thing. I'm a FaZe fan. I am from Texas. There you go.
Knock yourself out. I respect it.
Yeah, no, I think the further question too off of the Cloud9 thing is like I have on screen. Do we see them rebrand or do they just keep NYSL? Because they're merged or they're acquiring NYXL, NYSL, whatever you want to say, whichever brand we want to talk about. So like technically it's all being absorbed into the Cloud9 banner, but they could choose to keep NYSL as the team name and the brand in COD and just be managed by obviously the Cloud9 team. So I will say I'm cool with the subliners, but the logo and the team name and stuff doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's kind of like I don't really know what's going on here. The subliners, like I guess I get it's like a playoff of like Subway, I guess, and like I don't know the line that the Subway runs on, but like I don't know. It's kind of mid when you think about it. Like when you look at it, like I don't know. I think the branding is pretty mid, but I do, you know, they've been in it for a while, so.
I mean, I would love for the Cloud9 branding to come back. That Cloud9 branding was sick.
Dude, I saw people saying they're going to be the Cloud9ers. I saw people saying they're going to be the Airliners. So we'll
Airliners.
See. The Airliners, because clouds are in the air. So we'll see if they do rebrand. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we're gonna the Cloud9ers. That's kind of fire. Onliners? Ah, shit.
Christ.
That's insane. But yeah, I definitely... this is a dub at the end of the day. I'm sure more teams are going to get in. I wish they could have gotten in as their own team and they didn't have to, like, join off of another one. But I understand we're not at expansion at this point, so it is what it is. But yeah, man. I mean, the major starts tomorrow. Can you believe it?
I can't, man. We're at the last major of the year before champs. That is wild.
This is it. We literally... It's been 6 months since the season started. You know, give or take a little bit, but it's actually
it's been like 7,
almost 7, right? So it's kind of crazy how fast it went. I'm gonna miss it, but also I'm not. You know, at the end of the day, like I'm ready for Black Ops 6.
Okay.
Also, yeah, Paul, encourage that guy. He's apparently nasty. First turns 18, Challengers Cup, he gets top 8, and then his teammate can't play anymore, so they have to forfeit. But he's definitely different.
Followed you on Twitter?
Yeah, he followed me on Twitter. Absolute W. I got a follow from... I got to look at this, bro. This past week, actually, was low-key, like, I was kind of farming the follows. Where did it go? Let me see.
Farming the
I
follows.
was farming, bro. I was farming the follows.
Oh shit.
Why can't I see my followers, bro? What's wrong with this thing? I don't know. I got followed. I think I got followed by Encourage, Nero, and Cobra, the Challengers guy.
Yeah.
So pretty big dubs for the boy. You know, maybe we can get some of them on the pod sometime.
I didn't get followed by anybody.
Well, I'll send them your way, bro. I got
I'm
connections.
a loser.
Nah, dude, it's, you know, you're cooler than I am. I have the least followers out of the people on the pod.
Yeah, Alex up, man. Damn.
Yeah, Alex is he's rolling, bro. He's rolling. I'm the least popular here. Kind
Everybody
of
knows Jake Maverick.
kind of crazy. Alex
These
is about
guys
to hit
do a
5K.
top 5 pregame songs like Atlanta FaZe did. Oh, you mean like oh,
Oh, like one of those graphics of like our top. Yeah, that's crazy. Maybe we could. Why not? Fuck it. Top 5 podcast pregame songs.
podcast pregame
This is what I
song?
listen to, and I'm making the thumbnail for the podcast.
I'm just gonna give you 5 ASMR videos.
Oh hell yeah! The grapefruit method video.
That's what happens when you put on a big ass goofy hat and you're an OpTic fan. So real. That is so
Facts.
real.
That's facts right there. Yeah, dude. I wish Alex was here, man. I mean, he's a busy ass motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. He's very busy at his job, and he said they're having an event today, so that's why he's working late. So I'm guessing he's not going to be showing up. If he was to pop up right now, that would be insane. But I'm gonna have a feeling he's not showing up.
We talk real quick about OpTic moving back to the HQ. Yeah, that's exciting. Back to the roots. They did all that freaking move for because they had to, and then they're just moving back. But
Hmm.
oh no, how fast?
Oh, they moved.
Um,
Well, it's been planned. Like it's not like they just. It's not like they found out the same day they published the video. You know what I mean? I'm sure they've been playing this for a couple weeks, if not more.
I think he means how fast they move back to
Oh,
the
you mean like within like what was it, even less than a year? Like it was less than a year, right?
yeah, less than a year. Um, I think they never wanted to leave, and they were forced out because of financials, and then uh, they moved down and were like, "Fuck it, we got an opportunity, we gotta take it." That's my take.
God, my Slack is going off for work. I'm getting notifications. Sorry, chat, if you heard that and that just triggered you. Yeah, no, I definitely. It's cool to see him going back. It's definitely going to be nice for the guys like Hex and Scump that live in Frisco, but also all the people that live in Dallas that now have to travel up to Frisco.
I saw a lot of ex-MV employees throwing strays on Twitter about it. Really?
Well, I believe they. I don't want to put words or spread rumors, but I believe they let some people go from OpTic. I believe they downsized the team.
Everybody did.
Yeah, I mean everyone has been downsizing, obviously. But they have the whole office space. Like they don't just have where the Hex quarters, like that room, the main room was. They have like the whole office, I think, like next to it on that floor. So it looks like they got a good bit of room. Um, but yeah, dude, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I can't imagine how much money per month they were paying to rent that space in downtown Dallas. It was probably astronomical. Like it was probably. I'm gonna actually look it up. I'm gonna look up like office space downtown Dallas rental, and we're gonna see what we find. We're gonna see what we find. But it's definitely. I mean, it had to be insane, bro. It had to be insane. I mean, a lot of these are going for like $18 per square foot per year. So
Damn.
what does that come out to? Let's see. $18. How many square feet is this? This one's only 1,133 square feet.
That'd be like $20,000 a year.
It's actually not that bad for that, but that's tiny. I mean, that's like an apartment, 1,100 square feet. You're thinking an office of like, I mean, this office here is 49,000 square feet.
Damn.
And you multiply that by $14 a square foot, divide that by 12. That's $57,000 a month for that office. I don't think that's how much OpTic was paying, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it was that much.
57
So I would imagine they probably more than halved their monthly rent on the OpTic space. It might be like a quarter in Frisco for the office space compared to downtown Dallas.
Fuck off, 57K a month.
I mean, that's a big ass office space downtown, but they were like, I mean, they were right next to the American Airlines Center. So
that was how many square
that was
feet?
49,000. So that's fucking huge.
What was the square footage of the? It doesn't tell you.
I don't know. What is the name of their office? Do you know?
OpTic headquarters, Dallas somewhere. I don't know.
Let me see what shows up. Because when you look up OpTic headquarters, it shows up with the Frisco address.
That's not right.
Let me see. Dallas. Oh, here we go. 330.
Maybe look up NV headquarters. It's just not updated.
330 Nowitzki Way. Dirk Nowitzki. Shout out that guy. I mean, this one. Oh, this one doesn't have any info. Damn. Yeah, I don't know, bro, but I'm guessing they're saving tens of thousands of dollars a month on the office now, which is an absolute dub at the end of the day. I can't, dude, can you imagine? I can't even imagine spending, I mean, that's just so much money, bro. That's so much money. Yeah, dude, shout out Dirk Nowitzki, bro. There you go. That's an unexpected shout out to see on a Call of Duty podcast. Hey, that's one of the best power forwards of all time right there. But yeah, dude, I think that's probably about time to wrap it up, right? We've been live for 2 hours. I think this has been a good show. I'm not gonna lie.
Probably, I would say so.
We did our bracket. I'm hyped for Major 4, chat. I hope you guys are just as hyped as we are because it's going to be lit. Also, yeah, chat, make sure you check out my Twitter. I just retweeted something. I'm going to be participating in a Creator Clash event that Paul there in chat is going to be running. So shout out to Paul for inviting me to play. July 7th, Sunday, July 7th, we're going to be doing the Creator Clash. So if you guys want to watch that, I'm going to be streaming it, man. My first ever event. You're going to see me play some COD, dude. I'm going to get shit on. I can't wait. Also, Frostbite, thank you for the love, man. We appreciate it. And we hope we have a good rest of your night, man. Definitely appreciate the support in chat. But yeah, I think it's time to round it out, man. Any final words, any closing thoughts out of you there, friends boy?
I got nothing, man. I will say, everyone have fun watching the major. I hope it's a entertaining one. I hope OpTic makes a long losers run. That will be great. But regardless, go OpTic. And yeah, I hope my bracket's perfect. Oh, and should need to be said, but if you are a grown ass man, stop texting minors. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Shit, chat. Yeah, chat, that definitely should not have to be said. I'd like NADESHOT said on stream, it should not be rocket science. Please don't talk to minors, okay? Unless it's your kid. Don't talk to minors. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a minor yourself, I guess you can talk to other minors. But good lord, man, it just motherfuckers are stupid. I ain't gonna lie. Motherfuckers are stupid. You know? Don't cheat on your wife either. That definitely, that's also not a good thing, especially with a minor. That would be really bad.
Yeah. That would be so bad.
That would be really bad. I don't think anyone would do that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I did see Z-Laner put out a tweet. I've not watched it. But I probably will see what he has to say. But yeah, chat, that's a good way to close it out, man. Don't talk to minors. Don't cheat on your wife. Or your husband for that matter. You know what I'm saying?
True. True.
Right? You know, I wouldn't want to be cheated on, so I would appreciate that as well.
Game is game. People are people.
Facts, exactly. But yeah, chat, thank you guys for the support, man. This was a great episode. For anyone who's listening and post, we appreciate it just as much. Like Alex always says, since he's not here, if you hate us, we don't care. If you love us, we do care, though, to make sure that it's clear. We definitely do care. We hope you all have a good rest of your night. I'll be live for the watch party. Maybe Preston will join us. Who knows? You never know. Maybe he'll pop in at some point. I'll pre-pressure him right now, live.
I could maybe make that work. What time you going live?
I'll be live tomorrow after work, Friday after work. So, 6-ish p.m. your time. So probably for like the last matches, and then Saturday and Sunday I'll be live all day. So
okay, I'll have to see. I could definitely make something with Sunday work. We'll see about tomorrow.
We'll see. Whenever you're free, man, you're always welcome to join. You shoot me a text and we'll get you on.
Sounds good to me.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much. YouTube chat, we appreciate you guys. And yeah, we hope you all enjoy the major, and we'll see you next week for another episode. Have a good one.
Peace.